But Johnny, we are going to move on into our next topic, and it is going to be Marvel and the MCU. Something that we love to talk about is yesterday.
Of course.
Yesterday, if you guys either saw the full podcast and you're watching it now, well, it's today if you're watching the full podcast, but if you saw the segments we had yesterday, as you're watching this, our SpiderMan review is up. So you got to go and check that out.
Look at it.
As I'm wearing my DC shirt promoting a SpiderMan thing. But
shame on him.
What we're talking about today is Robert Downey Jr. and Iron Man, basically Tony Stark. Because here's a quote. I'm going to hit you with a quote that he hit.
Don't hit me with something.
That he hit Australia'sNews.com with. And it goes, it's a cyclical thing. I could have said when the first Avengers came out, it's never going to get any better than that. Everybody stop. But to me, it's always about people and opportunities, like the Russos, who I adore. Everyone says to me, it's like a glove that fits so well. I have to start over every time, but I'm still starting over with a pretty solid base. I just never want to blow it for the last 6 or 7 MCU movies. I have done by dropping the ball because I decided to go do it one more time. I just want to hang up my jersey before it's embarrassing, end quote. And basically what he's talking about there is he doesn't want to ride the Tony Stark train. He wants to end it at the right point. He basically, and you're not going to get this because you are not a sports person.
No, I'm not.
But you might because you're from Chicago. He basically wants to Michael Jordan it.
Yeah.
He wants to win and then just walk off into the sunset. I got my ring. I'm going to walk off into the sunset. That's what he wants to do. Now, it also doesn't hurt that when he does, this will be the Spider-Man's going to be the 7th, I believe, or the 8th time that he is Tony Stark. It's not going to hurt that Avengers, the next 2 coming, will be 9 and 10, which will put him over. It will tie him.
It will put him over.
Beat him, which is Hugh Jackman as Logan and Wolverine. So that doesn't hurt as well, like to have that in your back pocket. But
exactly.
That posed me to ask this question, Johnny.
Yeah.
After Avengers, we've already talked about this for Captain America because he's kind of hinted that something's going to happen. Somebody's going to die. Is this the movie, Avengers 4? Is it the movie were we wrong to talk about Captain America? Is Tony Stark, is Iron Man the one that dies?
I really don't want that to happen. If it's anyone, I really don't want it to be Tony Stark. Mm-hmm. Being is that what they're talking about? It's possible because it's not like it's Chris Evans where, hey, you know what? I just don't want to be the role anymore. It's like Robert Downey Jr. is more like, you know what? I don't want to like overdo it. I don't want to
overstay my welcome.
Exactly. I don't want to get to the point where I'm just embarrassing myself now. So I want to like you said, Michael Jordan, go out on a high note.
Yep.
So I can understand if like contract stuff happens and he wants to like, hey, you know what? Yeah, I'm done. Kill off my character because obviously if he's not going to sign in for a contract, what are you going to do with him?
You're just going to not use them. Here's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
And this would kind of bring everything to me full circle.
Okay.
Is if they killed Iron Man. And I'm not saying to go ahead and do it, but I'm saying I could see it making sense.
Okay.
Because think of some of the things that we have talked about either from Kevin Feige quotes or about Marvel, which also I got to throw out there for you guys who can't see because you're not looking right at you or at you.
Yeah.
It's weird that I can't see your eyes right now. I'm used to being able to see his eyes as I talk to him, and now I can't. But like I was saying, from everything that we've talked about, think about where Marvel is coming from and where they are going. Let me talk about the past first.
Yeah.
Which character basically started everything?
Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man.
Which character technically got the Avengers together? Like in the story, actually got them together.
Iron Man.
And
Phil Coulson.
God rest his soul. But he started everything with the first movie. He was basically the one to help Nick Fury put the Avengers initiative together In Ultron, what did he see? What did Scarlet Witch make him see?
Everyone's death.
Everyone's death. Wouldn't it, like, with that past, wouldn't it be fitting that he's the one to go because he started it, and it would be meaningful from that point, but also because he might be able to be faced with a choice in Avengers 4. Mm-hmm. Either I sacrifice myself, which also he is dealing with the whole, I almost got killed in Avengers 1 thing.
Yeah. In
Iron Man, I want to say that was 3, where he was going through all of that. Yeah, it was
Iron Man 3.
With the crappy Mandarin, but we're not going to bring that up. Thanks, Ricky.
Hey, just watch the one shot. It makes it a little bit better. I said a little bit.
However, you have all that, but then you look to the future of what have they said they are going to do after Avengers 4? What are they getting rid of?
The timeline.
Phases.
That's
so basically they said, hey, we're going to get rid of phases and we're just going to tell good stories.
Yeah.
Why? What would be a perfect end to the phases and the timelines than saying the father who started it all? This is his final resting place.
Yeah. Well, it kind of brings it
kind of like Logan. Kind of like it would have. I think it would have the same kind of effect as Logan the movie.
Well, let's do it this way too. If Tony Stark makes sacrifices himself for everyone else, it kind of like puts Captain America's foot in his mouth from the first Avengers movie.
You're not from Civil War.
Well, I'm just saying in the Captain America in the first one, because he says and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember it verbatim. You're not willing to make the sacrifice play. Mm-hmm. Captain America said that to Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Now, if he does this in
Avengers 4,
yeah, I guess it is 4?
That's what they're saying. It's
Infinity Wars Part 2, whatever.
Well, it's Infinity Wars, and then it was going to be Infinity Wars Part 2, remember?
And now then they renamed it.
Now it's untitled.
Until they title it, that's what I'm calling it. Infinity Wars Part 2. Title it, and then that's what I'll call it. But right now, it's Infinity Wars Part 2.
Okay, Avengers 4. But go on.
Avengers 4, okay. I'll technically.
We'll argue about this all night.
If you want to argue about it, Civil War was kind of like Avengers 2.5 then.
Avengers Light.
Avengers Light. It's not a beer, Ricky.
No.
It's not a beer. No, I mean, I could see that being very fitting then, and then like kind of putting Captain America's foot in his mouth. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you make Tony make the sacrifice play, which then makes me question the vision he saw, unless it's just like the vision was just his worry and not really a premonition of what's to come.
Mm-hmm. I feel, you know what else also hits me?
Breaking down.
No, you know what else also hits me?
Huh.
And I believe this was released today. I'm going to pull up the article really quick.
Okay.
Of something that was released, and I went, holy shit. Like, this could be just them saying, yeah, sure, this is what it is, but I guess Marvel has now released, or Tom Holland was allowed to finally say it, but do you remember in Avengers 2 when we get to the part where there's the kid and he comes up with the Iron Man mask, he puts out the phaser? Did you hear who they are saying that is in the MCU?
Tom Holland.
Peter Parker.
Peter Parker, yeah, whatever.
Like, that to me was like that's another thing to where if he dies, another connection of like, wow, Peter Parker was in that movie technically, had that bond as a young kid without knowing it, and then Tony Stark got to mentor him as like the father that doesn't want to get too attached kind of thing.
Exactly.
Or the stepdad that doesn't want to get too attached, but I'm going to be your mentor. That kind of a thing.
Yeah. Trying to get him the ball rolling. Basically, he's kind of training someone to take his place. If this is how it's going to happen, and Spider-Man's there to take his place. Spider-Man's a tech whiz.
He is.
He is a superhero. He's also got superpowers, so he doesn't quite need the suit. He gave him a suit. So kind of like, hey, you know what? I see a lot of this kid, or myself in this kid, in some senses. He can be better than me. He wants Spider-Man to be better than him.
Could you imagine, and this is just me spitballing off the top of my head.
Go for it.
That, you know how we were talking about the Iron Spider?
Yes.
What if this is the start to the Iron Spider?
Could very well be.
Basically, here's what happens, and this is me spitballing it off the top of my brain. Tony Stark dies.
Okay.
Tom Holland, Peter Parker, devastated. Close connection, absolutely devastated. After he starts to get over it, because this would be the second father figure that Spider-Man has lost, because Uncle Ben also.
Yeah.
But what if then he, being a tech whiz, takes the suit, and I know it's different from the comic, but screw it. They'd probably make it and it'd be amazing. What if Peter Parker, in honor of Iron Man, turns the suit into what we know the Iron Spider to be? And basically the Iron Man part of the Avengers becomes Spider-Man in the Iron Spider suit that we know with the mechanical arms.
I'm going to put one little play on yours.
Okay.
And it's because it's got that Disney sentimentality that you got to remember they always play on. After Tony's death, after things are starting to get settled in the last down slope of the movie, he had it set up already. He made the suit for him. And in case of death type thing, or he was going to give it to him anyways, it's like, hey, this is one final thing from Tony.
I got you one best. I got you one better.
Okay.
I got you one better.
Yes, sir.
What? Because they have also come out and said that Spider-Man 2 is the storyline is going to take place minutes after Avengers 4. Here's what happens, and this is me spitballing again. What if the after credit scene or the last scene we see is Tony Stark and like some note or whatever that he has another suit for him and to go to X location to find it, cut. And then the beginning of Spider-Man 2 is him finding the suit minutes after.
Or I'm going to play a little bit on yours. It doesn't say what is for him. Just
I have something.
I need you to go to this location. Like a note saying you need to go to this location. Goes to that location. It's one final thing from your mentor to you this is like you said, next movie. One final thing from your mentor to you after his death. Like something he's like, he thought about and he was going to give to you.
He knew he was going to die.
He either knew it or he's like, you know what? This is for Peter. On my, at this point, he needs to have it.
And then it's the Iron Spider suit.
It's just that, like I said, it's going to be that Disney sentimentality they're going to pull out because obviously it's Marvel, but it's Disney's Marvel.
Could you imagine if he calls it like the Mach S too?
Mark II?
No, I would say the Mark S. Mark Spider.
Mark
S for
S2?
Spider?
Mark S2. Okay, I got you.
Something like that. Because they never said that this is like the Mark S1.
That's true.
They just kind of said, hey, I made some arrangements to your suit, which... I mean, he's got to earn back because in the trailers we even see the whole
homemade suit.
A lot of people could have died, yada yada yada, and Tony Stark going through the same thing because he had to go through the responsibility
missing the
thing
suit.
of the suit too. But I kind of have a feeling that if you ask me, because we've had the conversation of Captain America and now we're having Iron Man, I feel like if one of them is going to die, it's going to be Tony.
It would drive the story better. As much as I don't want it to happen.
And do we honestly think Tony Stark, basically Robert Downey Jr., wants to go more than 10? Like, think about that alone.
Yeah.
10 movies as Tony Stark. Do you think that, of course you can throw out the answer of, well, Ricky, if he's getting paid to do it, he'll go ahead and do it. Do we honestly think after Avengers 4, since they're getting rid of phases and they're just going with which characters are going to tell the best stories, that Robert Downey Jr. is going to go, yeah, it's time. This is the time to end it.
Yeah, that would be, I guess it would be a good time as any to do it because, again, that's his words. He used to not like, hey, I would do a ton more movies. Now from this quote, it's like, hey, you know what? As much as I like doing this, I don't want to embarrass myself. I don't want to mess up because obviously these are like things that you have other resources to go back on and like nitpick. So I can see where he doesn't want to mess up because I mean, he's doing a good job.
Right now it reminds me of, and you're not going to get this analogy, but I'm going to say it anyways. It reminds me of a pitcher throwing a perfect game because right now Robert Downey Jr., every time he plays Iron Man, because you think about it, when you're a pitcher and you've got a perfect game, that first inning, You might go 1, 2, 3 and get them out, and people might go, well, it's the first inning. We'll get to them. Like the first movie. Like, oh, that was good, but
Yeah.
let's see some more. But now that we're 8 innings deep into this game called the MCU, we're looking at it going, holy crap, man. There hasn't been one time where I've said, man, that Iron Man role was a stinker. And it kind of, to me, maybe feels like the same pressure. Because when you're on the mound, you're like, oh, man, don't want to give up this out. Like, there are even, like, the superstitions of, like, you'll see the pitcher just sitting all the way on the end of the bench with no one around him. And it's like, don't even talk to him. Don't talk to him. He's got to, like, he's in the zone. He's throwing a no-hitter. He's throwing a perfect game. That's what we're witnessing right now from Tony Stark. And we kind of saw, like, I feel like Hugh Jackman's was tarnished in a way because of how we felt about some of the X-Men movies, mainly how they did the Dark Phoenix saga.
Yeah.
Like, the MCU hasn't done that to Iron Man.
No.
Every single movie we have walked out. Like, there have been ones that are like, wow, like, that wasn't the best Marvel movie. The fact that we have to say that wasn't the best Marvel movie, and that, wow, that it wasn't like Batman v Superman. Wow, that was a bunch of garbage. Why did I waste my money on that? Oh, my cousin wanted to see it again, and Ricky went just to make fun of it. Yeah, I threw my money at that twice. just so you guys know, I threw my money at BVS twice.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and once was on Thanksgiving, I think. That was when my cousin and I went to see it, because she'd never seen it. I'm like, well, you got to see it, because if I went through that garbage, you have to go through that garbage.
Yeah.
So that's why we went to that. But I kind of feel like this is the fitting end, because after 10 movies, do you think Robert Downey Jr., with the pressure he's probably putting on himself a little bit, do you think he wants to say, fuck it, I'll do more?
No. Just because, like, you and I both sound like we're in agreement on it. No, he doesn't want to, because, like I said, he doesn't want to embarrass himself. He doesn't want to, like, overdo it, like we said in so many different ways. You don't want to overstay your welcome. You want to go out on a high note, and you don't want to, like, oh, I did movie 11 and I completely botched the character on this one. I gotta leave now. No, you want to do it like, hey, and in a way that, like, kind of drives the story too. This would kind of drive the story to where it's ending and where our next stories are going to pick off.
Well, and the last thing I want to end this on before we move on into the last topic is kind of a question for you, because you are the Marvel guy. Let's say they kill off Iron Man.
Okay.
They kill off Robert Downey Jr. Do you leave Iron Man basically like the persona of Iron Man? Because I know that we have other people that have taken up the mantle of Iron Man. Do we see it to where they just, you know what? I know we have movies planned out from here to here. We're just going to leave Iron Man alone. Or do they, after a year or two, bring in a new persona for Iron Man? Not Tony Stark, but Iron Man.
As a movie person, I would say no. You have so many other things you can work with. If they really want to.
So many other stories they haven't told yet.
Yes. But on the other side of that, you can, like, there's Iron Kid, for example, and some people were saying, oh, well, the kid from Iron Man 3 is Iron Kid. Maybe. Maybe. But you know what? I would say we have other stories we can tell.
You were talking about the kid that he crash landed in his garage?
Well,
that kid?
He drug the suit into there, yeah. Yeah, I would say maybe leave it alone would be the better option, because how are you going to do what Robert Downey Jr. did in 10 movies? How are you going to really, like, I know there's going to be the people out there, like, are going to get super offended.
That want Iron Man back on the screen.
Well, they're going to want, if you're going to do Iron anything, you have to have Iron Man back on the screen. And you're just going to, like, offend people. I'm not going to get offended. I'd be open-minded to another Iron whatever, but I feel like the best option would be just to kind of leave it alone.
Let's put it this way. There's only two ways you're getting rid of Iron. You're getting rid of, if Robert Downey Jr. wants to walk away, there's only two ways that he's walking away. The first one is the easy one. You kill off the character.
Yes.
The second one is, and this is never going to happen. I know like 5 years ago, when basically around the time Christopher Nolan's Batmans were coming out,
Yeah.
like Mark and I would have conversations, and Mark would say, well, sooner or later, the superhero genre is going to die. Well, then Marvel took over, and good luck with that kid, because they just made movies forever.
Yeah.
But the thing that I look at is the second one is if the superhero genre dies, and I don't think that's going to happen.
Not anytime soon.
I don't see it, like with how Marvel's got movies planned all the way till 2020, whatever.
Yeah.
Fox has already scheduled movies to 2022. You have DC coming out with this advanced schedule of movies for their own universe. I don't see that second one happening. So the only way Robert Downey Jr. can walk away from Iron Man is if he says, kill me.
Yeah.
Kill me in some way that I can walk away. That's the only way you're walking away from Iron Man. If not, good luck playing him for the rest of your life. Because that's what probably is going to happen if you don't kill him.
If you want to stop him as playing Iron Man, you have to kill him off.
You have, like, that is, it was kind of like Logan. The only way you were going to end Logan is if you basically killed him.
Yeah.
If you got rid of Wolverine. And that's the only way, because there's no bringing Wolverine back, especially right now, without Hugh Jackman being Wolverine. That's the same thing for Iron Man for Tony Stark.
Well, let's put it this way. I'm going to say there's only 2 ways to bring Wolverine back right now. No, actually, I only see one way, or two. I'll put it 2 ways. You wait quite a few years and then start recasting when you redo the stuff. 2, you give him to a different universe, i.e. Disney, Marvel, maybe.
Can you tell Johnny really wants him to be in a Marvel movie? I think you do.
Just throwing it out there, you know.
Just throwing it out there.
I feel like if it's a separate universe, it's fine.
But if he goes to Disney Marvel, I want to see him in the yellow suit. The
yellow and blue?
The yellow-blue suit, not the yellow-brown suit.
I'm okay with the yellow-brown. It's
like
the original.
Yellow-blue.
It's the original.
But I like the yellow-blue.
I know you like the yellow-blue.
The yellow-blue is like...
Yellow-brown's original. But
the yellow-blue is like warm apple pie, man. Never gets old. Never gets old.
Actually, with like in a week, you gotta throw it out.
Yeah, but I eat it before it gets to a week.
Touche.
I eat it before it gets to a day.
That's true.
That's a fat joke for you. Have fun with that one. But before we move on into our next topic, you guys let us know down below in the comment section. What do you guys think? Is Tony Stark going to die at the end of Avengers 4? Do you want to see Tony Stark die at the end of Avengers 4?
I don't want to.
And what do you think is going to happen with the Marvel timeline up into Avengers 4? And how is everything going to play out? Let us know down below in the comment section.